Hi everybody, and welcome to the third Joomla Community Google Hangout. My name is Russell English, and I am going to be the facilitator, as previous Hangouts for this Hangout. Joining me on today's Hangout, I have Brad Markle from InMotion Hosting. He's going to be talking about how to get Joomla's cache to play well with the article hit counter. And also, I'm hoping to have two people joining us, Isidra Baquero and Marco Dings, with regards to a Joomla and Beyond roundup, which has obviously taken place the previous last weekend. So welcome along. And as always, the Hangout is going to be broadcast. If you've missed it, you're going to be able to see it on the YouTube channel anyway. So if I can hand over to yourself, Brad, and hopefully we'll be able to take it from there.
All right, thank you, Russell. Hello, everybody. My name is Brad Markle, and I'm with InMotion Hosting, like Russell said. And let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can take a look at what I'm seeing over here. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen right now. And in today's session, we're going to take a look at how to update article hits when you're using Joomla's cache. So again, here's my quick intro slide. I'm with InMotion Hosting, and I help run our support center. And our support center has been using Joomla for a little over 2 years now. When we first set it up, it was with 1.5. And then last year we did a migration to Joomla 3. So we run Joomla, and I use Joomla to write about Joomla. That's one of the great things about my job, is that I get to come into work every day and play with Joomla, and that's great. I've learned quite a bit over the last couple of years. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to speak at Joomla Day Boston. That was in March, and the talk I gave was tips for running a large website using Joomla. And one of the tips that I gave was tip number 3, if you can see on my screen. It says, if you're not using Joomla's cache because of its pitfalls, find a workaround. We actually implemented the system cache, I think it was around February, and we had some pretty good results with it. We were happy with it. I definitely saw the site speed up a little bit, and the load on the server dropped as well. So the caching worked out pretty good for us, but like many people, we did have a problem with the Joomla caching, where if you have it enabled, the article hits do not increase. Now, a lot of people suggest using something like Google Analytics instead to take a look at your views, and that's definitely a good alternative, but it doesn't really fix the problem at hand. So that's something that we did, was we came up with a solution for it, and that's what I'm going to talk today. For about roughly 10 minutes. It shouldn't take too long to get this set up. So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at the problem live in action. So here I've got a standard Joomla site, and we're looking at the Australian Parks page, and you can see it's got 0 hits. And every time you refresh the page, the hits increases by 1. So hits is 2, 3, 4. You know, that's the way that it's supposed to work. Now, if you log into the back end and you go to the plugins and find the cache plugin and enable it, okay, you can refresh one more time. Right now the hits is 4. Now it's 5. But as you keep refreshing the page, the hits stay at 5. It's not being updated in the database, and obviously it's not being updated on the site here. The system cache plugin is based on the URL. So if we go to the URL and we add a random variable. I'm going to add z equals 1. You see the URL is different. It's loading the same article, but the URL is different. So the hits shows 6. If we change the URL and change that variable to 2, again you can see the hits goes to 7, and once more the hits goes to 8. But if we go back to the normal URL, the hits is 5. So again, the cache is based upon the URL, and it's not updated when you're using the system cache. So what I'm going to do now is show you an overview of the solution that we came up with. It's really just a concept on how you can use Ajax to get around this problem. We ultimately ended up modifying some core files, not too many, but a more adequate solution would use plugins to handle some of the tasks that we did. Okay, so I got somewhat of a flow chart here, and I'll quickly go through it, and then we'll do a live demonstration. So the first thing that we do is set up a language override. Within the article, it shows hits, and then in the example here, it shows 48. So the first thing that we do is we enclose that number within a span, and we give it an ID of article_hits. We're going to use Ajax to update that number, so we need to know, or we need to have an ID set to that number. So that's the first thing, is set up the language override. Then if you're looking at the screenshot, it says start here in the middle, and within the article template, we're going to add some jQuery that makes an Ajax call. So regardless of whether the page is being served fresh or from cache, it's going to have this JavaScript in there, and it's going to execute the call to increase the hits. So this jQuery Ajax call, it sends a request to a new file called includes/increasehits.php. And to that file, we send over the option, which is content, the view, which is article, and then the ID of the article. In this case, it's 6. So we post that information to the PHP script. What the PHP script does is it includes Joomla's configuration file. That way we can grab the database host and credentials, so we can connect to the database. Then what we do is we increase the hits on the database. You can see here I've drawn the arrow that goes to the hits, and then that value, after we increase it, is returned back to the script, which ultimately goes back to our Ajax call. And then finally, that value is put into the article_hits span. It's pretty easy once you get everything working, and hopefully you guys understand the screenshot I've got here. But let's go ahead and run through a live edit to make the few changes. So just the other day, I posted the steps within our support center, so you'll be able to find these. But let's go ahead and start with step 1, and there's 4 total steps. So the first step is to disable the article hits. I know that kind of sounds weird, but all of the article hits, it's going to be managed by the new script that we're going to create. So we don't want a fresh, version of the page causing duplicate hits. So this is going to require just one line of code, and we're going to add it to the model for article. So I'm using just cPanel right now, a file manager, to edit the files. So we're going to go into Components, content, Models, and then article.php. We're going to go ahead and edit that. We're going to search for hit, and we'll find the function, public function hit. It says increment the hit counter for the article. And all we're going to do is add return true. And that's going to cause all this other code below not to run. Again, this is a core file change, and you could probably easily come up with a plugin to do something similar. But just for testing, we're going to go ahead and make this one change. So again, we're basically disabling the hit counter function. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And when we go back to our article, when we refresh the page, you can see hits is 5. Actually, let's disable cache and then do that. Okay, so the hits is at 9. Again, we disabled the hit counter, so it's going to remain at 9. Going back to the article, the next step is to enclose the hits within a span tag. And if you recall from the screenshot here, it's the step in the top left using language override. So we're going to go to extensions and language manager, overrides, and then new. And we're going to search for hits. And this is what we want to add an override for, content article hits. So this %s, we're going to surround that by a span with an ID of article underscore hits. And then we're going to go ahead and save that. All right, now when we go back to our article, we can inspect the element. And if you could see on my screen here that 9, again, it's within a span tag with an ID of article underscore hits. Okay, we only got 2 more steps. The third step is to add the Ajax call to our articles. You'll probably want to do this with an override or a content plugin. In this case, we're going to quickly just edit the default template for articles. And it's just a couple lines of JavaScript. So we're going to go ahead and copy that. It's content views article template, and then edit default.php. And we're just going to add this to the end of the file. Okay, so when we refresh the page and we view the source, okay, we can see our JavaScript in here. And again, we're going to be making an Ajax call to a script called increase underscore hits.php, and we'll pass over content article and ID of 6 as the variables. And the very last step is to create that script that will connect to the database, increase the hits. And that's going to be includes/increase underscore hits.php. So let's go ahead and copy that code. And we need to navigate to the includes folder, create a new file, article underscore hits.php. And simply throw in the code, save the changes. And that's the last step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to enable the system cache again, and we're going to clear the cache that was there previously, and hopefully everything will work. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay. All right, so we are having a problem here. Let's see if I can quickly fix this. All right, increase hits.php. All right, so I renamed the file wrong. Let's see. I knew that would happen. All right, fingers crossed, let's try it again. All right, So if you could see on my screen, it says hits 13. Refresh the page, 14. And I don't know if you can see it, but the cached version of the page shows 9 hits. And it actually, the number 9 flashes up there for just a minute until the Ajax call is ran and updates the number on the screen. So that's pretty much it. Again, we went ahead and used a language override and surrounded the hits number within a span with an ID of article hits. We added some JavaScript that does an Ajax call to this PHP script over here that connects to the database, increases the article hits, returns the new number, and then updates it on your page. At InMotion Hosting, we've been using this technique for a couple months now, and it's been working just fine. We haven't really ran into any major issues, and we're really happy with how it's working so far. Personally, I've been trying to work on a plugin that does all this stuff the right way. So far, I haven't got it figured out yet. Hopefully one of these days. But that concludes my presentation here. I hope you guys learned something, and just let me know if you have any questions. So that's back to you, Russell.
Thanks very much, Brad. Yeah, it's very interesting actually. So obviously with all of those files and so on, and the walkthrough you just did, are those files available? Are they going to be available online, or are they going to be available somewhere?
Yeah, it's all live. It's available right now. Let me see if I could throw in the URL in the group chat here. Are you able to see that? Hopefully someone else can.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah, thanks very much. What I'll do,
okay.
I'll put that in the description once it's on the YouTube channel as well. Once it's on the YouTube page, or this, I should say. Then at least hopefully people can get that on there. With regards to, you say you're looking at developing it as a plugin and so on, then presumably that's going to be for 3.3 upwards, or are you going to be offering it for older versions of Joomla as well?
It should be compatible with older and newer versions. So that would be the plan, is for 2.5 and 3.
All right, great. And is there? I know it's difficult to say how long's a piece of string, but is there any time scale for that at all, or?
That's a good question. I spent a little bit of time on it and really haven't figured it out yet. If it is rolled out, it'll probably be maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'll let you know if I can get it up there sooner than that. But hopefully a couple weeks I'll be able to get it implemented.
All right, great. Oh, that'd be fantastic. Well, thanks very much for joining us on the Hangout. Just checking through the Q&A. There doesn't appear to be any questions at the moment. So yeah, for now, I'll come back to you and say thanks very much at the end. But for now, thank you for your presentation. Cool. And I'm going to. We're also joined. Brad and myself are also joined by Marco Dings and Isidro Baquero, which I hope I pronounced that correctly. These guys were lucky enough to go to Joomla and Beyond, which happened at the weekend, and they're going to give us a brief rundown of how it went down and what happened and so on. So if I can just hand over to you guys.
Hello.
Hi, Isidro. How are you?
Hi. Doing fine, thanks.
Good.
Just catching up after a week away from home, but besides that, doing well, thanks.
Excellent. Good to have you on board. And Marco, how are you? Oops. Are you there? I can see. Oh, there you are. Hiya. How are you? We can't hear you, unfortunately, Marco. Can you hear me all right? Well, we can't hear you. I'm going to have to just for now. I just have to switch back to Isidro. So yeah, so Tidra, if you could just give us a quick rundown of, well, a roundup really of Joomla and beyond, if that's okay.
Well, there were so many things going on there, but I'll try just to do a quick highlight of the main ones. First of all, a brief introduction of maybe about what J and Beyond is. It's basically an international Joomla conference, the oldest Joomla conference out there, actually. This one was the 5th edition and took place at Königstein im Taunus. I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation for it, in Germany. And well, it was like the 4 precedent editions. It was absolutely great. This year, I think we had over 200 attendees from, I think, more than 20 maybe countries, 26 if I'm not wrong. And well, during the weekend we had lots of talks on absolutely every topic you can imagine about Joomla. But I would say that specifically there were a lot of development-related talks on everything, from newbies level coding to absolutely unreachable for me things inside the, I don't know, the Joomla framework, plugins, templates, everything. But also this year the slogan of the event of JM Beyond, every year they have a slogan, but this year it was investing in our future. And during Saturday in the afternoon, the program of the event was empty, so that everybody could propose sessions to take place there, but sessions that would create actual results, outcomes, things that we could touch, real results, not we're going to do this or that, not. So for example, there was work on documentation, on user groups, there was a book squashing session, and a few others that unfortunately I can't remember now, that there were really too many to remember. So it was great, and of course we had the absolutely outstanding networking time before, during, and after sessions. Everywhere in the hotel you could see people sharing, talking, and enjoying the Joomla community. I should say that we also had some very interesting keynotes from people from outside of the Joomla community. I can remember right now, for example, the one by Rafael Doms from PHP, I think. And well, I mean, it's absolutely a great event where you could meet most of the most involved people in the Joomla community. And well, and also the 3 days before the event, we had the joint leadership summit, where the 3 leadership groups of Joomla, namely the PLT, Production Leadership Team, Community Leadership Team, and Open Source Matters. Most of us were able to attend. It's been the year where most of us have been there together. I think we're 24 of us, so we could had absolutely great meetings also, and great things coming in the future for the Joomla project. And well, I think that's sorry if it was a bit chaotic, but I wasn't sure what exactly you wanted for a roundup, and well, I'd be pleased to answer any other questions or to talk about any specific topic you'd like me to.
Yeah, thanks very much. And well, let me just double check the Q&A. We've had a couple of, well, 3 posts from Pete Rossetti. One of them saying hi, Isidro. Another one
hi.
Saying don't forget J Factor, and another one saying it was a
Oh,
great
yeah.
Jab 14.
Sorry, which was the last one?
It was a great Jab 14.
Oh, well, yeah, it was a great Jab 14. Okay, yeah, that one was very good. I completely forgot about the J Factor and the J Oscars. For those who have been in the past at the J and Beyond, there's some awards are given away. They're called the J Oscars, which it's exactly J Oscars stand for Joomla Open Source Creative and Artistic Recognition Awards, and well, basically are a recognition for people and companies and services in the Joomla sphere, like free Joomla add-ons, commercial Joomla add-ons, Joomla template system, Joomla services, also to websites, corporate, non-corporate, e-commerce, and mobile, but also to individuals. This year we had 5 categories: GitHub Junkie, Communications Junkie, Bug Junkie, and also the special awards, Joomla Innovation of the Year and Outstanding Personal Achievement. You can check all of them at the jandbeyond.org website, jandbeyond.org/joscars.html. It was a great session as usual, and we had a nice competition, so to speak. It was nice. That happens all the years in J and Beyond, but also this year we had something new, which was the J Factor, and basically it's something similar to that TV show called the X Factor, where everybody in the Joomla community who had a special talent was invited to go on the stage and show it. So we had some absolutely incredible performances. We had electric guitar, we had drums, we had a saxophone, we had singing, almost opera, even opera, sorry. And we also had a great performance by Frank Delventhal. I don't know how to define it, but very strong man doing things like taking heavy weights up and bending steel giant nails, and well, it was pretty outstanding. And the award this year, the winner of the J Factor was Elvésio da Silva from Brazil. He had a really absolutely incredible, there are no adjectives for it, song he composed for Joomla based on Wonder Woman TV show main theme. I think you can see it on YouTube if you search for Wonder Joomla. I think if you search for that, you'll find out his performance. It was great. The whole room was standing, applauding, and it was really a great event. And the idea is for next edition, because this year there were not many submitters, not many participants, so I think it were like 8, maybe 9. But next year the idea is having a whole evening for it, and it was great fun. So just another of those things that make J&B Beyond so special.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've just found it on here actually. The Wonder Joomla at Jab. So I'll, if I can somehow, I'll share that in the video feed as well. Or it is 2 minutes long, so I'm not sure if we can watch it now actually.
No. Well, okay. It's
let me just try that. Okay, here we go. So if I do this, and then you guys should now, let me get rid of that. Should be able to see it. Yeah. Well, that's how. Is that pretty
Still
much,
there, Russell?
so
Hello.
Is that pretty much for people who've never been to Joomla before? Then is it that's what a jab? That's what they should expect.
Yeah. Sorry, but it got a bit delayed, and I think I missed part of your
Sorry.
what you said.
So is that it's for those people who have never been to a jab before? Then that's the sort of fun after the seriousness party that they should expect.
Yeah, and that was the part of the fun that was in the program. But even after the program, at the hotel this year there was only one bar, but it was always full of people drinking and well, it's a bar, of course, drinking, but sharing, and it was really great. The last day we had some people there singing, playing the guitar, and it was great. I mean, this year I went with some people who was the first time for them, and they've been for today during the whole day telling me that they couldn't imagine it was that way. It's an amazing event. I would recommend everybody to, if they can, to attend at least once, and they won't regret, really.
All right. Well, thanks very much. I think I'm going to try and. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to this one, but I'm definitely I definitely want to make it to the next one. I think Brad, you're going to Cancun, aren't you? Is that right?
Yeah, I went to the 2 previous World Conferences, and I haven't gone to a J and Beyond event. But I did have my Twitter feed up the whole event, the whole last week, and I saw everything go by. But when that talent show was going on, the Twitter feed was crazy. Everyone was having, you could tell everyone loved it. I think it was Astro Boy. He was putting up some videos, and I wish I could see more other than a couple clips here and there. But I'm jealous. You guys had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys bring that to the World Conference, because I don't want to miss out. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great fun, and this year, Cancun, it just sounds like fun by itself. So we'll see. Hopefully, yeah. It's the World Conference. As far as I know, I haven't been able to attend any of the 2 that took place so far. But for what I know, the audience is a bit more diverse. In this one, there are it has a high concentration of developers. these things happen, but our conference started, so I would.
I think we may have lost Isidro's feed there. Brad, are you still there?
I'm still
Hello?
here.
Oh yeah. Hi Isidro. Sorry, we lost you for a second. You dropped out. Are you there?
I mean, get out.
I think we lost him again.
I think we've lost him. Yeah, he's coming and going.
I'm back. Hello. Hello. 1, 2, 3.
Hi Isidro. Yeah. No, you gone again. Now these live broadcasts, they're great. Okay, well, I think all I can say now, I've had a look at the Q&As and so on. We haven't actually got many Q&A sessions at the moment. Any questions? Sorry. So what I will probably just say is, Brad, thank you very much for joining us on today's Joomla Community Google Hangout.
Thank you, Russell.
But for those people who want to follow you on Twitter, remind me of your Twitter handle again.
It's BW Markle.
BW Markle. Okay.
Yes.
And well, thank you very much, and thanks very much. So, with regards to that link and so on, I'm going to put that in the description of the feed as well, and then hopefully people will be able to get to those files and so on. Isidro, I think you're there now. Hopefully you're there. No, you're not. Well, thank you very much. Hopefully you can hear me, but thanks very much for joining us and presenting as a roundup for JAB. If people want to follow you on Twitter, it's at ISIDROBAQ, and if you want to follow myself on Twitter, it's at RustyJoomla. And all I can say is thanks very much, Brad and Isidro, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers. Bye bye.